Well, good afternoon, and thank you for taking the time to watch this podcast. It's July 2019, and the purpose behind these podcasts is certainly to inform you of all the different things that are going on with our department and what we are working on here at headquarters. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment and thank Assistant Chief Larry Stewart for the 7 years he served as our Technical Services Chief. Really a difficult position to hold and to have. A lot of accountability, a lot of responsibility. It takes an enormous amount of coordination to put testing processes on and to train 245 men and women located over 960 square miles. The tireless efforts that he spent doing those things certainly are appreciated by me and by many of you in fire rescue. If you think about it, most of that are working our organization today were hired through processes that Chief Larry Stewart put on or oversaw. The Lofton Center that we have today was something that Chief Stewart and his training captains have worked on for a number of years, and all that is attributed to the work that he has done. So Larry, thank you for the time that you spent here at headquarters. Look forward to your future and look forward to working together with you soon. That brings us to having two vacancies as an assistant chiefs. We have an assistant chief of EMS that's vacant and an assistant chief of technical services that's vacant. So would ask that you be patient with us as we work through those. Chief Taylor and I have done a lot to try to reassign some responsibilities, and I'm going to be overseeing the training department and helping those 4 training captains continue to deliver training on a weekly and monthly basis to you in the streets. We have decided that we're going to scale back on some things in the meantime. I know that Captain Wesley told many of you at the last class for through FO1 that we were going to wait a couple of months before we started the FO2 classes. There's just some things that we need to make sure that we have our feet underneath us before we continue to take on more responsibilities. We've got to make sure that we're providing that bread and butter training that's needed on a daily basis. Chief Taylor is going to help the Fire Marshal's office move forward and keeping them squared with what's happening. John Adler and his group, and make sure that everyone is working together cohesively so that we continue moving the organization forward. I believe that the assistant chief positions will be posted. They've been posted for a couple of weeks and will probably be posted for another 4, 5, or 6 weeks before we're able to close it and begin the testing process. So we will continue to work hard to make sure that all that we're responsible for doing, that we're able to deliver to you in a timely fashion as far as that goes. We've had a lot of other position changes. We have 16 new firefighters that started June 24th and 3 rescue lieutenants that started on the same day. And they've been doing their rides on the weekends. It's a good group of men and women. I've heard a lot of positive comments about them. And so I would ask you as our senior employees and y'all that have been here for a while to please make sure that those new employees are welcomed and that you do all that you can to invest in them, to help them to be successful in our organization. A lot of what I think leads to job satisfaction is how we're treated and how we treat each other. So please make an effort to make sure that those people are included in everything that you do. Spend the time with them on the weekends to make sure that they're learning and progressing in their craft. Also want to welcome Phil Royce. He is our new E911 specialist. He works in Keith Godwin's division of E911. We've known Phil Royce for a number of years. He comes to us from the sheriff's office. And at the sheriff's office, he was really instrumental in their radio system. And so I'm hoping that his knowledge of radio systems will help us with our current radio system that we have and the future one that we will need to upgrade to within the next few years. We also have a promotion that's taking place on Monday. David Torcell will be promoted from lieutenant to EMS district chief. And I want to take a moment to thank all the candidates who applied and went through that testing process. You all represented yourself very well, and you have a lot to be proud of. I'm looking forward to what the EMS district chief will bring to our organization. I know that it has been certainly a need. The peak load division, I think, will be very pleased to have a permanent a fixture, a permanent position, and a person that fills that position that they can rely on and talk to and help them through their daily activities. He'll also be managing different programs on the EMS side that will be a big help to us. We've done a couple of things lately that really have been outside the norm and have been different. In an effort, my focus has really been on trying to reduce that mandatory overtime in the rescue lieutenant classification. And I'm doing that because we have more vacancies per total number of employees in that classification than any other. And we all know that it's been ongoing for quite some time. And so the action that I did June 14th with sending that email really was to bring attention to the problem, let you know that I was aware of the problem, and then put in place some actions that could potentially relieve as a stopgap the situation that we were having. And so I want to give a little update. It's only been 2 weeks. It was effective June 20th, but the 2 weeks before that, 14 days, from June 5th to June 19th, in the rescue lieutenant classification, we had 19 instances of mandatory overtime that totaled 273 hours. In the 14 days since we changed some of the ways that we fill this time, June 20th through July 3rd, we've had 10 instances of mandatory overtime for 90 hours. So we've gone from 273 hours of mandatory overtime to 90 hours of mandatory overtime. So that wouldn't have happened without your help, without your assistance, without you buying into the concept and to the idea, and without you being willing to step up and assist the rescue lieutenant position. We know that's a difficult position, and I just want to take a moment to thank you all for doing that, for trying to make a difference and trying to help our brothers and sisters out that are in that classification. One of the other things that I've been working on is a rescue lieutenant incentive signing bonus, and that would be a $5,000 incentive that the goal is to attract paramedics from other organizations and also to motivate some of you who are paramedics to test for the rescue lieutenant classification. The way the bonus works is that it's $5,000, half of which is paid after 6 months, and the other half is paid after 1 year. You have to serve 2 years in the seat of Rescue Lieutenant 1, and if you breach the contract, then the $5,000 is divided by 24 months, and you have to pay out that per month amount for the time that you aren't filling the seat for the remaining of the 24 months. It sounds simple enough to implement and sounds simple enough to do. The Board of County Commissioners approved it. The county manager approved it. But there are some legal complications to it that the union is working on with their legal counsel and that we are working on with our legal counsel. I believe the union is behind it. They're supportive of the concept and ideas, but there's some things that we need to work out, some material items that we need to work out before we can make this effective. So the union is working hard to make sure that it happens. We're working hard to make it happen. And it's only good between now and September 30th. So we have posting now that's open. And I'm hoping next week we're going to get an idea of how fast we can implement this signing incentive, if we will be able to implement it all. I'm optimistic that we will. And then I'm only allowed to do it through the end of this fiscal year, which hopefully after the end of this fiscal year, we won't have the same issue that we're having today. The pay plan discussions hopefully will alleviate this. The addition of a rescue unit will alleviate this problem. The idea that a rescue lieutenant now can promote from a rescue lieutenant 1 to a rescue lieutenant 2. We've done a lot of things that I believe long-term will be a fix to our rescue lieutenant problem. But we just needed this stopgap for the next 3 to 6 months. And so this mandatory overtime new process of filling that time and relieving people of mandatory overtime was one. The signing incentive is the second. So please reach out to your friends in the industry that maybe work for different agencies. Reach out to those of you that are paramedics and cleared and have thought about serving in the position. Would really love for you to serve in that position. I would much rather have those positions filled. That is our goal. That is our intent. There are some training opportunities that are coming up in the very near future. July 9th through July 11th is our company officer leadership training. Our leadership meetings that take place on a monthly basis. This month, the focus is on EMS. So rescue lieutenants and those of you that are working out of class as rescue lieutenants, highly encourage that you attend. There's a lot of good information. It's a good opportunity for you all to get together and share experiences and learn from each other. I know that Captain Tanashan is working on some leadership principles and practices in a presentation that he's going to deliver. July 22nd through the 25th. Again, this is for rescue lieutenants right now. For rescue lieutenants and those working out of class as rescue lieutenants, I'm hoping we'll expand it in the future, but right now we only have so many people that we can fit into the UF Sims lab. They are covering the rapid sequence airway protocol. In August, that will be unveiled. Our rescues will be carrying some new medications that we haven't carried in the past that will assist us in securing airways. It's something that our medical director supports and has been pushing. And it's one of those things that I'm really happy to announce that we are advancing in our medical capabilities to provide better care to the citizens and visitors of our community. If you have not signed up for that RSA class, I would strongly encourage you to sign up for it because that medication is coming out, those protocols are coming out, and you're going to need to be familiar with what those things do. The training captains are working on the idea of Field Day Fridays, and so you're going to see them in your stations July 12th, July 19th, July 26th. That is their focus, and their goal is Fridays to actually hit the streets and to be able to get face-to-face time for EMS training. Looking forward to that. I believe the focus this time, again, is going to be on airways. So, in closing, I've intentionally not discussed negotiations in these podcasts. I'll continue to not speak about it a whole lot. The negotiations is really between the union and county management staff. I am playing a supportive role. Any operation issues that come up, certainly I'm involved in and discuss. I can tell you that we just had a negotiation session this morning. I believe that it's going well. And there is a process to negotiations that is painful in the beginning. And I'm hoping that both parties will be able to reach an agreement that will be good for everyone that is involved, be good for all in the organization, and something that the county management and the county commissioners can be pleased with or be happy with. My focus has not changed. I'm still doing those things to ensure those three core things that I stated when I received the pinning and became your fire chief. My focus is still the same, and that is that all of our staff are well compensated, well trained, and well equipped. And so we are working on those things to make sure that that happens. Well, thanks for taking the time to watch this podcast. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please send me an email and let me know. Would love to help you out in any way that I can. Thanks. Have a safe day and have a great 4th of July.